welcome to the R5 Rally Championship 2023 presented by First Citizens. We kick off with two non-scoring exhibition events which occurred last weekend and gave hundreds of Ireland Rally fans their first taste of what is to come in the second season. The action kicked off on Saturday with the SpringBlaze Saturday Night Lights edition, which started at 4 p.m. The 6-kilometre stage from Featherbed Lane to Draxhaw passed through the popular viewing points at Cliff Plantation, the Kendall Duck Pond, and Woodland in St John and St George. 4 time runs, one direction, set the tone for ultimate bragging rights. With the mass exodus to Skoda over the winter break, Josh Reed would be championing the only Ford Fiesta R5 at this event. Josh commented before the event that it's always a little nerve-wracking getting back into the seat for the first time after such a long layover. His main strategy was to get back the feel of things, especially with 2 of the 4 stages being run in nighttime conditions, where a lot of commitment is required through the high-speed sections. Josh was very cautious in the first run. I felt the car was way too loose. He made some changes and improved on run 2, then broke an axle on run 3 of the event, which caused him to lose bagfuls of time. Josh would end the MCBI SpringBlaze in P6 and get ready for the Vaucluse event the next day.
Last year's third place overall finisher Roger Hill was excited to be back out in his Skoda. Perhaps a bit apprehensive about the opening rounds event, Roger mentioned that he tends to struggle a bit at night, but he'd be putting his head down and focus on being consistent and building into the event. His conservative start would find Roger having a pretty big hole to dig himself out of, but he rose to the task at hand and would shave 8 seconds off his second pass through the stage. This would be his best time posted across all 4 runs, and Hill would end the event 5th place overall.
Mark Maloney is one driver we were excited to see enter year 2 in his Skoda Fabia R5 Evo 2. Mark, only now getting back into rallying after a long hiatus, wanted to ease into the event and showed good speed, beating his run 1 time in run 2 by over 6 seconds. Mark commented the stage was very slippy in patches, but the stage is one he likes and a nice way to start the 2023 season. It must be said the battle for podiums this year is going to be fierce. Mark finished the MCBI SpringBlaze event P4, just less than 3 seconds behind 3rd place Jeffrey Panton.
After months of waiting, Jeffrey Panton was finally able to get his brand new Skoda Fabia Rally 2 Evo 2 on a stage and earn some much needed seat time. Prior to the event, Jeff mentioned he was ready to get out there and feel the car on a stage. For him, this event was all about learning the new car and slowly building into it. As expected, he began quite conservatively, posting the 3rd fastest time on the opening stage, but Jeff would eventually find his groove and would set his fastest time on his 3rd run through the stage, shaving an impressive 5 seconds off. Jeff would close this exhibition around 3rd overall with some well-earned seat time.
Britain's Rob Swan would have his first competitive outing in his Skoda Fabia R5. Robert barely had any seat time in the car prior to the event and was eager to get to grips with his new machinery. Rob commented that the chassis and launch procedure were things that stood out in terms of differences between his Ford and the Skoda. Rob came out the blocks flying, setting the fastest run 1 time of the entire field with a 3-minute 21.02, clearly pushing his new car to the limit. Rob would settle into his pace and end up overall P2, just 6.96 from the eventual winner. With his struggles last season behind him, we are eagerly looking forward to seeing what Rob can do in 2023.
In his first outing for the season in his freshly reshelled Fabia Rally 2 Evo 2, Stewart Maloney got off to a strong start, posting the 2nd fastest time in the opening stage and would find himself locked in an early battle with Rob Swan. He mentioned after the first stage that the roads were quite greasy and slippy, and being out of the car for some time and having to shake off the rust on a stage that required so much high-speed commitment was definitely a challenge. But Stewart would hit back at Swan in the 2nd stage and shave 4 seconds off of his time. Just Stewart doing Stewart things. He would go on to win stage 3 and 4, as well as secure a solid 1st place at the end of the event. Not a bad start to this 2023 season for last year's champ.